Get ready for the biggest stories moving the needle right now. We are diving deep into the history books as historian Sharon McMahon explores the tragic legacy of President William Henry Harrison. You will learn how his record-setting inaugural address ultimately led to him becoming the shortest-serving U.S. president in history after he faced the blistering cold without a coat.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Next, we turn to the high-stakes political battle brewing in Washington. We are breaking down why the future of surveillance law is currently on thin ice, as House Republicans remain deeply divided over the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Former FBI Chief of Intelligence, Joshua Skewell, joins the discussion to unpack how this legislative gridlock is putting the renewal of FISA in serious jeopardy. Then, we shift to the markets to see how your favorite brands are changing the game. PepsiCo is proving that strategic moves pay off as their latest quarterly performance shows a major jump in sales. We are analyzing how their specific decision to lower prices and strip out artificial ingredients successfully supercharged demand for their snacks and drinks. Finally, we take a look at the economic reality hitting families across the country as Americans react to surging prices fueled by inflation and global conflict. CBS News correspondent Lana Zak reports on how the ongoing war in Iran is directly impacting your wallet through rising oil and gas costs. Stay informed on these stories and much more by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss an update. Imagine standing on the steps of the Capitol, ready to lead a nation, and choosing to talk for 2 solid hours in the freezing cold, without a coat, without gloves, and without a single clue that you were essentially writing your own obituary. This is the tragic, head-scratching story of William Henry Harrison, the U.S. president whose time in the White House was shorter than most people's vacation time. Harrison famously delivered the longest inaugural address in American history, a marathon speech that lasted nearly 120 minutes while the wind whipped through the crowd. It was a massive display of stamina, but honestly, it turned out to be a fatal error in judgment. Just 1 month after taking the oath of office, Harrison passed away from pneumonia, leaving behind a presidency defined not by policy, but by a single, shivering afternoon. It makes you wonder, how much of history is just bad timing and a lack of winter gear? To dive deeper into the real legacy behind this bizarre chapter of the presidency, we've got historian Sharon McMahon breaking it all down. If you want to stay in the loop with stories that shaped our world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the CBS News community. History is often stranger than fiction, and sometimes the smallest details, like forgetting your coat, change the trajectory of a country forever. Ever feel like the government's secret watch list is teetering on the edge of a breakdown? That is exactly what we are seeing in Washington right now, as the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, faces a massive, unpredictable future. Just this past Thursday, an attempt to renew this cornerstone of national security for 5 years hit a brick wall, all thanks to a bitter divide within the House Republican ranks. It is a striking reminder of how internal party friction can stall critical legislation that keeps the intelligence community running. To prevent a total lapse, the Senate scrambled on Friday to patch things together with a temporary extension, pushing the deadline to April 30th. But let's be real. This is just a Band-Aid on a much larger, deeper political wound. To get a better sense of what's actually at stake here, we are turning to the experts. Former FBI Chief of Intelligence, Joshua Skewell, joins the takeout to peel back the layers of this legislative chaos and explain what it means for our surveillance capabilities moving forward. It's a fascinating look at the intersection of national security and raw politics. If you want to keep up with the full conversation and catch all the latest developments, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and join our community. The question remains, can Congress find common ground before the clock runs out in April, or is our surveillance law heading for a historic reset? Let us know what you think in the comments. Ever wonder what happens when a massive global brand actually listens to what people are screaming for? Well, PepsiCo just gave us the answer, and the results are honestly pretty eye-opening. For years, we've heard the complaints about shrinking portions and questionable ingredients, but PepsiCo decided to flip the script this quarter. They took a bold gamble. They actually lowered prices and started pulling artificial junk out of their recipes. And you know what? The gamble worked. Consumers didn't just notice, they started buying. Demand for their snacks and drinks surged in a way that proves price sensitivity and product quality aren't just buzzwords, but the core engines of retail success. It's a fascinating case study in brand resilience. When you stop trying to squeeze every cent out of the customer and start focusing on value and health, the market usually rewards you for it. It makes you think, are other legacy brands going to follow suit, or are they going to keep pushing their luck until the shelves stay empty? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business of snacks, hit that subscribe button for more updates on how the giants are shifting their strategies. After all, the best way to vote is with your wallet, and clearly, the market just cast a loud one. Does it feel like your paycheck just doesn't stretch as far as it used to? You aren't imagining it, and unfortunately, you aren't alone. Americans across the country are currently bracing for a fresh wave of economic anxiety as the dual pressures of persistent inflation and geopolitical instability collide at the gas pump. We are seeing a direct correlation between the ongoing conflict involving Iran and the sudden volatility in energy markets. It is a classic domino effect. When global tensions rise, oil supply chains tighten, and the cost of everything from transportation to groceries starts to climb. CBS News correspondent Lana Zak recently took a deep dive into how these rising costs are hitting household budgets where it hurts the most. It is a stark reminder of how fragile our domestic economy is when tethered to international strife. If you want to keep up with in-depth reporting on how these shifting global events are changing your daily life, be sure to hit the subscribe button on the CBS News YouTube channel or check out their 24/7 streaming service. It is a great way to stay informed beyond the headlines. We want to hear from you. Are you noticing a major difference in your cost of living lately? Let us know in the comments below. At the end of the day, economic stability often feels like a moving target, but knowledge is your best defense against the uncertainty.